I just wanted to go over some things that I've been thinking about lately, which doesn't have to do with anyone or anything that's happened recently. I've just been reading online how people are trying to get the word out on how to help people with anxiety, like on The Mighty and on BP Hope. They talk a lot about how to like handle anxiety, and I just wanted to add my 2 cents in, because there's a lot of lists out there like don't do this, don't do that, but I really wanted to do a 2-sided list, one that says what not to do, and then another side that says what can you do, because a lot of these lists are like negative. They're like oh my goodness, it's like almost like the other person can't do anything right, like. And I don't want to put that out there. I want to put out a list that says, you know, this is what you shouldn't do, but here's what you can do to help. So here we go. And I just have it on my journal. Just some notes just so I don't forget or I don't ramble on, which I can do sometimes. So the first one is, don't tell a person that they are exaggerating. So when a person gets triggered, that feeling is very real to them. They're not exaggerating. They're not, collapsing into hysteria because they want to exaggerate. So don't tell them to stop exaggerating. Don't insinuate that they're exaggerating, because the trigger is very real to them. It's a very real threat that's happening inside their brain, and that's why their brain chemistry, especially with PTSD, their brain chemistry is saying, hey, there's something dangerous here. You're now in fight or flight mode, because that's a natural reaction to danger, and our body chemistry just sometimes says, hey, this is dangerous, you need to get out. And whether it's being in a big crowd or smelling a certain smell, for some sexual abuse victims, sometimes a certain cologne will set them off, and they'll remind them of their attacker, and they'll go into a flashback, or they'll become into a panic attack. So just don't tell them they're exaggerating, because one, that's kind of rude, be like, oh, you're just exaggerating. So don't do that. Or my second one is kind of tied to the first one. It says, it's just insert trigger here. See, that person, that trigger is very real to them. It's very scary. When it's a person, it's a place, it's a situation. A lot of veterans don't like to be in crowds because they're just hyperactive and hyper vigilant, I think is the word I'm looking for there. So it's just one of those things. It's you don't tell someone, oh, it's just nothing, because to that person it's very real. So and the third one that I would like to mention, and it's my top one, is to tell them to stop crying. Sometimes it's a very natural response to cry when you're in duress. For some people they get stoic, some people they get angry, and some people they get weepy. And I'm more on the weepy side, because when I get into a panic attack, it's my throat is closing off, or my chest is hurting. It feels like I'm dying. And it's just it's a very real sensation. When you're dying, what do? You're not laughing at it. You're crying. You're getting angry, or you close off. So for me, it's stop crying. For someone to say stop crying, it's no big deal. Oh, I can just shut off all my emotions right then and there. It's very detrimental to me, because it's my body trying to exert that adrenaline that my body has built up. And so those are the 3 things that you really shouldn't do for someone who's having an anxiety or a panic attack, who's been from a trigger. But things you can do, and I really like this list, because it's one of those things that the person who's been triggered knows they're supposed to do. I know I'm supposed to do all this stuff, but when I'm in panic, fight or flight mode, I forget to do those things, you know, as I'm melting down into a panic attack, you know, it's just not on my brain to be like, oh, I should breathe right now. Like, that's like not one of those things you think about, you know, right now you're thinking like, oh my god, I'm in danger. Or like, why is my throat closing off? Like, I can't breathe, you know, I can't breathe, you know, you just keep thinking, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And to have someone there to help you, or a service dog, is an awesome thing to do, and I can't wait for Lady to come home, because a lot of times when I have a panic attack, I'm alone, and she'll be doing like deep pressure therapy with me, and some grounding techniques, and she'll be blocking and covering, just stuff like that. So here's the list. It's remind them to breathe, and that's the number one. I think that for me personally is very helpful, because like I said, you're not thinking, you know, like, when you're panicked, you're not thinking, oh, I should breathe. Like, it's not the first thing you think. The first thing you think is, like, why can't I breathe? Like, oh, it's because I'm triggered. Oh, I should fight this. You know, like, you're not thinking, just breathe, it's fine. And some people on the second one is get medications to help. I have as needed medications I take when I'm having an anxiety attack, or I'm going to have an anxiety attack, which are very helpful to me. But like I said, in the moment that you're in that situation, you're not thinking, oh, I should just take a pill. Like, you don't think that. That's not the way your brain's working. Like, especially like for me, I don't know about you guys, but like, you know, your brain's foggy and it's closed off, and you're just trying to survive. It's like you're in survival mode. You're just surviving. And then the last one is deep pressure therapy, and what Josh does and what Lady will do, and Josh will still do it, like, even though I'm going to have Lady, he's probably going to help Lady get into position, or call Lady over and have her do deep pressure therapy on me, like, if for some reason she doesn't pick up that I'm having a panic attack. For me, it really helps when Josh puts pressure right here on my chest. Sometimes it's over here, but it really helps. Like, if I'm laying in bed and I'm having a panic attack, he just puts pressure on my chest and helps me breathe, by like focusing on his hand and making it move up and down. And when I had Jackie, my other service dog that I had to wash out, he was small, and so he was here, let me put this down. And so it was very easy. Like, I'd be laying back on the couch like this, and he'd be up on my chest, and I would just think, move the dog, and like, it'd be like, so I'd breathe up and I'd breathe down, I'd breathe up and I'd breathe down, and so just doing things like that to help like people, like, you know, like I said, it's going to be like an awesome thing for them, you know, and it'll, like, for me, it seems to draw Josh and I closer, because, like, Josh feels like he's able to do something for my panic attacks, and I feel like I'm getting help, and, like, it's really hard to describe how it brings us closer until you're actually the one, like, going through it, or helping with it. It's just, you know, so when the next time someone around you that you love has a panic attack, just think, you know, what can I do to help, instead of trying to stop and say and devalue the situation by saying, oh, it's just a crowd, it's just a line, it's just smoke, it's just, or whatever the trigger is. Instead of doing that, start thinking about, you know, maybe they need help to breathe. Or maybe they just need someone to hug them, or whatever. It really depends on this person, but, so I hope this video helps. Lady comes home in 2 days, so yay! And so you'll see videos about that, so hope you guys are having a good day. See you guys!